There is a quiet turning point in a trader's journey when the struggle begins to feel different. The noise that once filled the mind starts to settle. The fear that used to tighten the chest begins to loosen. You may not notice it at first, but something within you is changing. It is not a new strategy or a lucky win. It is a shift in the way you think and react. Before consistency shows up on the chart, it begins deep inside you. Many traders wait for a breakthrough to appear in their results. They look for confirmation in their equity curve or in their latest trade. Yet the real breakthrough happens long before the numbers catch up. It happens when your habits soften, your reactions slow, and your awareness sharpens. It happens when you stop fighting the market and start understanding yourself. This inner transformation is subtle but powerful. It marks the beginning of a new identity, one that can hold discipline, patience, and emotional stability. These are the signs that you are becoming the trader you once hoped to be. And if you have been feeling these shifts recently, even in small moments, then you may be closer to profitability than you realize. Let us explore these signs together. There is a reason they appear right before a major leveling up, and understanding them may reveal how close your growth truly is. Emotional detachment from money. One of the first signs that a trader is rising into a higher level of discipline is a quiet shift in how they relate to money. In the early stages, money carries weight. It represents fear, ego, survival, and self-worth. Every win feels like validation. Every loss feels like a personal failure. The trader becomes tied to the outcome of each trade, and that emotional attachment creates pressure that eventually destroys their clarity. But something begins to change as growth takes root. The trader notices that wins and losses no longer hit with the same force. A loss may still be disappointing, but it no longer ruins the day. A win may still feel good, but it does not create the urge to chase the next one. The emotional swing starts to flatten, and trading becomes more about execution than excitement. This detachment is not coldness. It is maturity. It is the understanding that money and trading is not a measure of identity. It is only feedback. It is information that tells you whether you followed your plan or drifted away from it. Once this becomes clear, the trader begins to act from reason instead of emotion. The chart becomes a place of logic, not a battlefield of feelings. With emotional detachment, losses are seen as part of the process. The trader no longer fears them. Instead, they focus on the quality of the decision that led to the trade. They look at risk, structure, timing, and execution. Their attention shifts from what they made or lost to how well they performed. This shift creates a stable foundation that no strategy alone can provide. And with each calm decision, confidence grows. There is no rush to make back money. There is no urge to force trades. The trader finally realizes that their value does not rise or fall with their balance. That realization is the doorway to consistent behavior, and consistent behavior is the doorway to consistent results. When emotional detachment begins to form, you are no longer controlled by fear or greed. You begin to see the market clearly. You begin to see yourself clearly. And that clarity is the first step toward becoming a profitable trader. Take a breath and hold this awareness for a moment. A new kind of patience is already forming, waiting to show its strength in the moments ahead. Patience becomes a natural strength. There comes a time in a trader's development when waiting no longer feels painful. In the beginning, patience is a battle. The chart moves and the mind races with fear of missing out. The urge to enter early or force a setup feels almost uncontrollable. The trader believes that action equals progress, so they jump at anything that looks like an opportunity. But with growth, the relationship with time begins to shift. Patience is not something you force. It is something that grows as your confidence grows. A developing trader starts to notice that they can sit through long periods of silence without feeling anxious. They can watch the market move without needing to be part of every candle. They begin to trust that the right setup will come, and when it does, they will be ready. This shift shows up in simple moments. A setup is incomplete, yet the trader does not feel the familiar pull to enter early. The market is moving fast, yet they remain calm because they know that speed does not equal opportunity. Their breathing steadies. Their decisions slow down. Their clarity rises. This is patience not as a forced discipline, but as a natural state of mind. During his own growth, James once caught himself smiling as he watched a perfect setup form over several hours. In the past, he would have taken 3 rushed trades before the real move even began. But now, he waited with a quiet sense of control. He realized that patience was no longer a skill he was struggling to learn. It had become part of who he was becoming. Patience changes the entire rhythm of a trader's behavior. It reduces overtrading. It increases accuracy. It fills the space between trades with confidence rather than agitation. Most importantly, it teaches the trader that missing a trade is not a failure. It is simply part of a long journey that cannot be rushed. When patience settles into your identity, trading stops feeling like a chase. The market no longer controls your actions. You control your actions. And from that calm control, the next stage of growth begins to reveal itself. It is the stage where the emotions that once drove you begin to lose their power, especially the ones that push you to fight back after a loss. Revenge trading begins to fade. One of the strongest markers of emotional maturity in trading is the moment when the urge to fight back after a loss begins to disappear. In the early stages, losses feel personal. They sting in a way that activates pride and fear at the same time. The trader wants to win back what was lost, not because of logic, but because of emotion. This reaction leads to rushed entries, oversized positions, and decisions that have nothing to do with the plan. It is revenge trading, and it has quietly destroyed countless accounts. But something shifts as the trader grows. A loss no longer triggers the instinct to strike back. Instead of reacting, the trader pauses. They breathe. They evaluate. Their mind looks for understanding, not for payback. The loss becomes a signal to slow down, not speed up. This is the sign of inner maturity taking root. The ego that once demanded to be right loses its power. The need to prove something to the market fades. The trader no longer sees the chart as an opponent. They see it as a reflection of structure, flow, and probability. A loss is no longer a threat to their identity. It is simply part of the long game. James experienced this shift on a day when the market moved sharply against his position. The old version of him would have jumped back in with frustration clouding his judgment. But instead, he closed the trade, logged the loss, and stepped away for a moment of clarity. He felt no anger, no panic, no desire to chase. The loss had no control over him. That was the moment he realized how far he had come. When revenge trading fades, discipline becomes natural. The trader stops making emotional decisions because emotional decisions no longer feel necessary. They begin to respect the rhythm of the market rather than fight it. They start to understand that reacting quickly is rarely the same as reacting wisely. This change opens the door to a deeper level of consistency. With fewer impulsive trades, the edge becomes clearer. The plan becomes stronger. And the trader discovers that progress builds in the quiet moments of restraint, not in the loud moments of reaction. As this emotional stability grows, something else begins to rise as well. The trader starts trusting their structure, their rules, and their process in a way they never have before. And that trust becomes the foundation for the next stage of transformation, where emotion no longer leads the way, but the system does. Trust in your system becomes stronger than your feelings. There is a powerful shift that occurs when a trader begins to trust their system more than their emotions. In the early days, decisions are often driven by impulses. A sudden move on the chart creates excitement or fear, and the trader reacts without thinking. Even when they have a plan, they drift away from it because their emotions feel louder than their rules. But with time and growth, the balance changes. The plan begins to feel safer than the impulse. The trader realizes that consistency does not come from predicting the market. It comes from repeating a process that has a statistical edge. This understanding changes everything. Instead of asking what the market might do next, the trader asks whether the setup aligns with the rules. Instead of wondering if they should exit early out of fear, they check whether the trade has reached their technical invalidation. The emotional noise fades into the background. The structure stands in the front. James understood this deeply during a period when he tracked every rule he followed and every rule he broke. He noticed that the trades where he followed his system calmly were far more profitable over time, even if the short-term results were mixed. This awareness strengthened his trust in his process. It allowed him to act with clarity instead of uncertainty. When a trader trusts their system, they no longer chase the thrill of being right. They focus on execution. They focus on discipline. They understand that no single trade defines their future. What defines their future is the repeated act of following their plan with patience and intention. This level of trust creates stability. It removes chaos. It makes trading feel calmer and more predictable, not because the market has changed, but because the trader has. And when a trader reaches this point, they begin to care about something deeper than entries and exits. They begin to care about the one thing that protects their longevity more than anything else: their risk. You care more about risk than reward. A clear sign of a trader on the edge of true consistency is the shift in focus from reward to risk. In the beginning, most traders chase profit. They dream about big wins. They imagine what a perfect entry could turn into. Their minds are shaped by excitement rather than protection. But as maturity grows, the perspective changes. A developing trader begins to understand that reward is never guaranteed, but risk is always real. They learn that gains can only matter if losses stay controlled. They start valuing safety over thrill. They take fewer trades, and each position has a clear reason for existing. They know exactly how much they are willing to lose before they even think about what they might gain. This mindset is not fear. It is wisdom. It is the understanding that long-term success is built on preservation. A trader who protects their capital stays in the game long enough for their edge to work. A trader who ignores risk burns out before their growth has time to unfold. James reached this stage when he began reviewing risk parameters with more care than he reviewed potential profit. His focus shifted toward stability. He realized that opportunity means nothing without protection. This awareness made him calmer, more deliberate, more consistent. When risk becomes the priority, emotions lose their power. The trader thinks clearly, acts responsibly, and avoids the traps that destroy accounts. This level of maturity is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet, steady, and deeply powerful. And once this understanding settles into the mind, something becomes clear. The journey is no longer about chasing wins. It is about becoming the kind of person who can handle them. That is the beginning of a new identity, one that leads naturally into a deeper reflection on who you are becoming as a trader and what this transformation means for your future. Your profitable identity is forming. When a trader reaches this stage, the transformation is no longer something they hope for. It becomes something they can feel. The emotions that once pushed them into rushed decisions begin to lose their influence. The habits that once held them back start to fade. A new mindset forms, one built on patience, clarity, and emotional control. These changes may not show up in the account right away, but they show up in the trader's behavior, and behavior is the true foundation of long-term success. A growing trader realizes that consistency is not found in a strategy. It is found in self-mastery. It is found in the ability to stay calm when the market moves unexpectedly. It is found in the strength to sit on your hands when nothing aligns with your plan. It is found in the humility to accept losses and the discipline to protect your capital. These qualities mark the beginning of a profitable identity taking shape. James understood this during a quiet evening review of his trades. He saw patterns not only in his entries, but in his mindset. This awareness showed him that profitability was not something he needed to chase. It was something he was becoming ready to hold. Your growth may feel slow, but these signs mean you are stepping into a new level of control. You are moving closer to the version of yourself who trades with confidence and purpose. Trust this direction. Stay committed to your development. You are building the mindset that separates consistent traders from everyone else. If this message has helped you see your progress more clearly, take a moment to support the channel. Like the video to help it reach more traders. Subscribe if you want more guidance on your journey. Leave a comment sharing which sign resonated with you the most. Your path to consistency is unfolding. Step into it with intention. If you are ready to understand the hidden patterns shaping your trading decisions, then watch this video titled "Why Most Traders Fail Mentally and How to Break Free." It will guide you deeper into the root of your mindset and reveal what has been holding you back.